A little girl urgently needed to use the bathroom, but was stopped by a line drawn with chalk. No matter how hard she tried, she could not step across it. A woman thought quickly, drawing a path with chalk and then erasing the boundary. Sure enough, the little girl slowly stepped out. The woman then extended the chalk path all the way to the bathroom, finally relieving the girl's urgent need. The reason the girl behaved this way was likely that she had endured severe mistreatment since she was little, yet no matter how many times people asked where she lived or who her parents were, the little girl refused to say a word. All anyone knew was that Paula and her husband had found the girl, wrapped in a blanket and wearing pajamas. On their way home, the kind couple took the girl in that night, naming her Clara, and cared for her until they could locate her parents. They drew a square with chalk in the living room and placed a small bed inside it. Watching the child live within that square, the couple felt a long empty space and their hearts begin to heal. Clara was very sweet. Under their careful care, she gradually grew calmer and more at ease, yet still refused to speak and would not step outside the chalk circle. Paula tried using things that interested her to guide her into new chalk sections, slowly expanding Clara's space to cover the entire house. Sometime later, a doctor from the foster care service came to check on Clara again. She tried erasing the chalk circle to encourage Clara to step out, but Clara reacted violently, nearly breaking down and shouting a single word. Strangely, after shouting the word, she immediately covered her mouth and panicked. Paula's heart ached for her. She rushed in and redrew the square. At the sight of it, Clara threw herself into her arms. This outburst made everyone realize the girl could speak. They tried to get her to talk again, but Clara buried her face behind Paula and whispered softly that she was not allowed to speak. After this incident, Clara trusted Paula even more and gave her an origami figure. The two grew increasingly close, almost like mother and daughter. One day, Paula and her husband invited several neighbors over. Everyone praised Paula for her kindness, except neighbor Jack, who believed the little girl was suffering from clear psychological trauma and would receive better help in a larger city. The atmosphere turned awkward. A blonde couple quickly offered to bring their children over to play with Clara the next day. The blonde woman arrived with her daughter, but Clara walked away feeling embarrassed. Paula quickly offered snacks to her guests. As they were eating, the blonde woman cut her mouth on a piece of broken glass inside the jam. Her husband immediately inspected the jar and found several more small shards. The jar had already been opened and was fine before, meaning the glass had been added later. Only 3 people lived in the house, so he immediately suspected Clara. Paula refused to believe it, convinced that Clara was innocent and kind. Paula returned home and gently questioned the girl about what had happened. Suddenly, a noise came from the utility room. The washing machine had broken down. Upon checking, they found a key stuck inside, even though Paula had not put it there. Paula thought nothing of it at first, but when she turned around, Clara was gone. She searched every corner, even going outside, but found no trace of the girl. Distraught, she hurried back inside. Just then, her husband returned, and Clara reappeared, calmly drinking water in the kitchen. Paula was stunned, yet she sensed Clara was upset and clearly nervous. She knew something was wrong, but no matter how she asked or comforted Clara, the girl remained silent. In her anxiety, Paula said, "If you won't answer me, I'll erase the chalk lines." She regretted the words as soon as they left her mouth, but Clara was already terrified. The girl kicked Paula. Feeling helpless, Paula stood up and caught sight of Jack through the window. She greeted him awkwardly and quickly stepped away to calm down. News of the broken glass and Clara lashing out soon reached the foster care service. They believed Clara had severe psychological issues and could no longer stay in the home. They began processing paperwork to take Clara into foster care. Paula's husband agreed with the decision, but Paula had grown deeply attached to Clara and could not bear to let her go. Just then, Clara approached holding a drawing as if trying to tell Paula something. Unfortunately, none of the adults understood its meaning. Clara turned and left with the picture. The meeting ended, and Clara's removal was certain. Paula was heartbroken and even argued with the blonde woman over it. At home, she obsessed over Clara day and night, determined to uncover her background. She tested the word Clara had shouted earlier, but no matches appeared in her searches. After a while, she stood up to pour coffee. After only 2 sips, a sharp pain shot through her throat. There was broken glass inside the coffee pot. At the same time, the word finally yielded a result. It was German for bad person. This meant Clara was likely German, but why would she have traveled all the way to Spain? Paula could not focus on the question. However, she rushed to the bathroom to clear her throat, managing to remove the glass shards. When she returned, Clara had vanished again, just like before, and this time, the front door was wide open. Paula ran outside, shouting Clara's name through the pain, but there was no sign of her. She had no choice but to call the police. The foster care service was quickly informed. Police found Clara's clothes near a nearby lake and began searching the water. Everything seemed to suggest the girl had run away on her own, but Paula knew this was impossible. Clara could not leave her chalk circle due to Clara's previous brief disappearance. Police did not believe her account. With no news of Clara, Paula barely slept that night. Jack came over to comfort the couple. Privately, others commented that Paula had grown too attached to Clara and should be encouraged to return to normal life. Paula walked in just as they were speaking. Already upset, she flew into a rage and sent everyone away. She then prepared to go look for Clara, but her husband opposed the idea, saying he no longer wanted Clara to return. Ever since Clara had arrived, Paula had never relaxed. For her own sake as well as the girls, she refused to listen to anyone else's opinions, even shutting her husband out. All of this left him exhausted. The couple argued. In the end, he pulled out Clara's penguin toy and found several pieces of broken glass in a pocket sewn onto its belly. It seemed to confirm that Clara was responsible for the harm. He then left, leaving Paula confused and distraught. Suddenly, the phone rang. Paula answered and heard Clara's voice. After calling her mom several times, the line went dead. Paula immediately called the police. As they prepared to file a report, an investigation revealed the call had come from Paula's own mobile phone dialing her landline. Suspicion fell on Paula, who with people questioning her mental state. To have her undergo a psychological evaluation, authorities confiscated her phone. With no one else willing to help, Paula decided to investigate on her own, secretly taking 2 case files. Examining them, she found an origami figure identical to the one Clara had made her in a photo from the file of a 17-year-old victim. Using the address listed in the report, she located the coroner who had handled the case. The coroner refused to speak with her upon learning she was not police, but Paula convinced him by speaking as a mother. The coroner informed her the victim had endured extreme suffering before her death. Her neck showed repeated signs of injury, her internal organs were severely damaged, especially her kidneys, and she had poor eyesight. Along with the origami, the kidney damage matched Clara's condition. When she heard about the eyesight issues, Paula suddenly remembered a girl named Ingrid she had seen in a list of missing children while going through the files. After comparing details, Paula was certain the victim was the missing Ingrid. She had disappeared at age 12 and been killed at 17. Her parents were still desperately searching for her. The origami figure was something they had taught Ingrid to make as children, representing a guardian angel. Clara was almost certainly connected to Ingrid. One clue remained unclear, the drawing Clara had made before disappearing. What message had she been trying to send? With this in mind, Paula rushed back home. Her husband was gone, having left a note saying he was at the police station. He had likely discovered she had taken the files, but Paula was focused on solving the case and ignored his message. She used the drawing to recreate Clara's chalk circle, hoping to see things from Clara's perspective and uncover a clue. She held the drawing upside down, just as Clara had sat inside the circle, and looked out the window. Then she made a discovery. Blue film covered the glass below her window. From Clara's viewpoint, the upper glass was completely blocked by trees, leaving the image green on top and blue below. The brown vertical lines represented tree trunks, but what was the black square? Paula looked up again and locked eyes with Jack through his window. The black square was Jack's window. Clara had been trying to tell Paula that Jack was behind her first disappearance. What had really happened? Long before Paula found Clara, Clara had been living with Jack. As her condition worsened, one night Jack carried her to the street. A DUI checkpoint was visible in the distance. Jack pointed to the double white lines and told her to follow the path toward the lights and remain silent, so she could get help. He had intended for police to take Clara, but she was found instead by his neighbors, Paula and her husband, who brought her home. Watching Paula care for Clara and help her improve, Jack grew terrified that she would eventually speak and reveal his secrets. During a visit to their home, he secretly smashed a glass and hid shards in the jam and other places, hoping to ruin Clara's reputation so the couple would give up on her. Even then, Paula refused to abandon Clara. Jack then broke into the house, damaged the washing machine with a key to distract Paula, and tried to take Clara away. But as he was about to leave, Paula's husband returned, forcing Jack to abandon the plan that explained Clara's brief disappearance and sudden return. Later, he succeeded in taking Clara using the broken glass. As Paula grieved and grew unstable, Jack secretly took her phone during a visit to comfort her, called the landline to fake Clara's voice, and returned the phone. This made everyone doubt Paula's sanity and turned those close to her against her. After realizing the truth in the drawing, Paula immediately called the police, telling them Jack was connected to Clara's disappearance. Fearing too much time had passed, however, she went to Jack's house alone. She claimed Jack's wife had sent her to pick up a map. As Jack searched for it, Paula looked around the house. When she turned back, she saw Jack was not searching at all but staring directly at her. Paula froze, uneasy and eager to leave, only to find the front door locked. Jack approached her with a small hammer and harmed her, dragging her to the basement. There, Paula finally found Clara in her complete chalk-lined room. Jack no longer bothered hiding the truth and locked Paula in a small dark room. Police soon arrived at Jack's house to investigate, but found no one and nothing suspicious, so they left. Paula was trapped. Jack demanded to know how she had discovered him. Thinking quickly, Paula told him about the case files and lied that they were in her car. Jack rushed outside to destroy them. Meanwhile, Paula managed to open the door to the dark room and threw a piece of chalk to Clara, urging her to be brave and saying she needed her help. Clara picked up the chalk and immediately tried to draw her way out, but Jack would return soon, so she needed to hide. Paula pointed to a wardrobe up ahead, telling her to take shelter there. Clara suddenly spoke, saying it was where her mother used to punish her and she refused to go inside. Paula recalled Clara mentioning she had lived with her mother, but where was her mother now? Remembering the doctor's note that Clara's kidney condition might be genetic, Paula feared the worst. Clara confirmed her suspicion, leaving Paula in tears. Jack had first abducted Ingrid, locking her in his home. She later gave birth to Clara. Ingrid eventually died a tragic death from torture and illness. Raised in such an abusive environment, Clara developed severe psychological problems and inherited her mother's kidney condition, needing to treat her illness while keeping his crimes hidden. Jack staged Clara as a lost child, leading to everything that had happened. Moments later, Jack returned, confident Clara would not dare leave her circle. He did not even lock the door. When he entered and found her gone, he searched the room without success. As he prepared to question Paula, Clara ran out the door, locking it behind her. She continued drawing chalk lines as she moved outside until she reached the front gate. Beyond it lay a dirt road, where she could not draw any more squares. Paula's husband was inside the house across the way, but he was on the phone with police and could not hear Clara no matter how loudly she called. With no other choice, Clara forced herself to step past the chalk line. She had just reached Paula's building when Jack's wife arrived home. Seeing what was happening, she immediately guessed her husband's crimes. In a matter of seconds, thinking of her own sons, she chose to cover for Jack and caught Clara. taking her back inside. Her sons had never had a good relationship with Jack, leaving her torn between them for years. She now made a deal with Jack. She would pretend she had seen nothing, but in return, he would no longer stop her from seeing their sons. Jack agreed. Almost immediately, police burst inside and arrested both of them. Clara had left chalk handprints on the door during her struggle, which Paula's husband had seen before calling the police. In the end, the abuser was arrested, and both Clara and Paula were saved. Clara was sent to live with her grandmother Ingrid's parents. After some time processing her emotions, Paula finally became pregnant. The two remained close and kept in regular contact. The story ends here. See you next time. I'm Jack Movies. See you soon.